Welcome to Cannabis and Tech Talks, brought to you by our title sponsor, Polyscience. I'm David Wallach, and we are at MJBiz, and we've got a great guest today, Jim Redding, the CEO of Aroma Retail. Thanks for coming out.
I'm thrilled to be here, David. Thank you.
I think I'm geeked because writers aren't normally supposed to pay for things, but I actually pay for your product because it's so cool. And
Well, thank
I know
you.
I'm breaking lots of rules by
Appreciate
doing
your
that.
business.
Yeah. The science of scents, S-C-E-N-T-S, not C-E-N-T-S,
yeah.
right? There's a zillion industries and companies out here today, and you are so unique. Tell us, in a nutshell, what Aroma Retail does, because it's so
Sure.
fantastic.
Well, we do environmental scenting, which means we make places smell wonderful. A little bit of background. Over the years, I developed most of the custom fragrances that you smell up and down the strip in the major resorts here in Las Vegas. This company, aromaretail.com, was founded in January 2017 with the idea of if somebody goes into a resort, likes the way it smells, they can come online and buy that fragrance. And so leading up to why we're at this show, if you don't mind getting into that.
Let's do it.
We figure, the marijuana consumption is a very much growing business, and a lot of people complain about the smell. And, the fact of the matter is, marijuana actually doesn't smell bad when it's burning, with the exception of just one molecule. And that molecule is called prenylthiol. And that's the one molecule that gives kind of that, it's been known as skunky or whatever. Yeah. Do you want to smell it?
Sure.
I actually have the molecule here.
That's the prenylthiol molecule.
This is prenylthiol, C5H10S1. It's got a radical sulfur atom at the end of the molecule.
Okay.
And so we found 3 fragrances in nature that actually have the negative ionized radical sulfur atom, if I'm saying that right.
So to combat the smell.
Right. Yeah. And so the 2 molecules look for each other. But this is the prenylthiol by itself.
Okay.
And you can kind of imagine without that.
So it smells like my camera crew.
Right.
And
so it's kinda,
pretty much the parking lot at MJBiz
It's kind of
smells.
crashing the party of marijuana.
Yeah.
Now,
not something you want to put behind
And
your
hang
neck.
on to that.
Okay.
And then so one of the fragrances we have, this is matchawana. This is like a green tea.
Matchawana.
Yeah. This one, Refaresh, it's got like floral and verbena. And then we have peach by the gram.
Okay.
And so I'll show you this one. When you first smell it, I just brought the candles. We have a bunch of products that carry the fragrance. But when you first smell it, it smells like almost like a candy peach, not quite ripe yet.
It smells great.
But now when you're holding the candle like this, bring in the prenylthiol,
all right,
and it'll kind of ripen.
That's crazy.
You see how it changes? And so what's happening is those molecules are combining into basically just a more juicy peach.
So it enhances the peach smell, gets rid of the weed smell, if you will.
Yeah, and that's how you know that it is actually neutralizing the scent rather than just masking it. And so you don't have to go real heavy with anything. You know what I mean?
So this isn't, a lot of people have sprays and,
oh, sure,
like things you can hold in your car. Not that you should be smoking cannabis in your car. But, what do they call deodorizing scent things?
Sure.
This is science. This smell is attacking this smell to neutralize it. It's not just masking it.
And these are just the candles. We do have the car diffusers. We have the home diffusers. We have a diffuser that goes up to 10,000 square feet coverage.
Wow.
Or you can just get a little home unit, 2,000 square feet, a couple $100. You're scenting your whole home.
I have a friend who thinks his house doesn't smell like weed. Nate.
We get used to it.
And I got some of the spray
funny,
and I brought it to Nate's house and he sprays it. And now when you walk into his house, it doesn't smell like weed because Nate thinks his house doesn't smell like weed, Nate. And it's spectacular.
It's so interesting how, because our sense of smell is looped right into our limbic system, the lizard brain part of our brain. That's tied to emotion, long-term memory, and that sort of thing. And the reason it is because originally, caveman days, smell was to alert you that something's new in the environment. But then after a while, your brain just kind of checks it off, like this guy isn't reacting, so I guess this smell is supposed to be here. And that's why sometimes we can have stinky garbage, stinky dogs.
Sure.
Or the smell of smoking or whatever.
Right.
And we don't realize it. We don't realize it that it's on us, that it's in our home or whatever. Yeah.
So we're going to let you name drop for a minute because there's a lot of, I'm going to say, 25% of the companies that are here won't be here next year. But you do scents for some amazing places. Tell us some of the places you walk into and it smells. Tell us
Well,
about the place that
sure.
makes sense for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I developed the custom fragrance for Wynn Venetian. Personally met with both Steve Wynn and Sheldon Adelson developing those fragrances. Also for most of the MGM properties, most of the Caesars property. This was years ago when I
Sure.
was in that custom scent development business. Also developed the white tea and thyme that Hilton uses in most of their properties. A couple of things for Four Seasons. So,
Wow.
yeah, previous life, and so now I'm 100% focused on this company, along with my wife Christina. She actually owns the company because I was still in the scent development business when she started this company.
Sure.
But we're all in, and we have a little over 50,000 customers, most of whom we see at least once a quarter. And I just love this side of the business. I love this side of the business because it's not just consumers that are ordering our products, but it is also small and medium-sized businesses that now buy like consumers. The days of taking the time to meet with a salesperson and pay commissions and that sort of thing. You just go online and buy what you're looking for, and that's what we rely on to really get our product out there.
I'm staying at the Trump and it smells like despair and Ovaltine.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah,
mine.
it's not yours. Okay. It needs a little help.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but again, to meet with these guys and they have, and you have to go back and the science of scents. It's not just saying, oh, roses, right?
Sure.
It's a key scent. It's their what's the keynote scent, their main scent of
Yeah.
their entire enterprise. Right?
That's how we got to have a library of over 100 fragrances.
Wow.
There's a lot of unique scenarios. We recently did a custom scent for a small ice cream bakery in Chicago, and they wanted it to smell like coffee, ice cream, and waffle cone.
Oh,
So we market it as coffee, ice cream, waffle cone, and it smells amazing.
and how much thought and research goes into that? Because
Sure.
I saw your PowerPoint and it's amazing and detailed. You've got an incredible
Thank
marketing
you.
guy. You should probably get a raise, but we won't. We won't go too much into that. But it's the science of it is just
Yeah.
fascinating.
When it comes down to an individual, it's just personal preference, and it's actually quite easy. And I think that's why our online retail model works. We can describe it, what you're looking for. When it comes to matching a brand, like if you're thinking about scenting a business,
Yeah.
which a lot of consumers are now, you have to consider the demographic of your customer. And so I like to look at the advertising that they do. What colors are they putting forth, and what kind of an attitude are they putting out there?
Huh.
Formal, informal, whatever. And also, what kind of feelings do you want to invoke? Do you want to have a calming, luxurious feeling, or do you want to raise optimism and cognition, which basically is what the casinos do? Casinos, they'll throw in some mint varieties, some nice crispy citrus and juicy varieties, and those raise cognition and optimism. It doesn't make you do things that you wouldn't normally do. It's not like you're not sober,
Right.
but it's just, hey, this is a great environment, But then, we have a museum here that's focused on the mob era and stuff like that. We did a fragrance called Speakeasy, and it almost puts you in more of kind of a mood of reverence and appreciation for history because it's got the deep leathers, a little bit of bourbon, some brass and stuff like that. It's really, it's not too scientific beyond just the common sense of what should be in this environment. If this environment had its own smell, what would that be?
Sure.
And you've done it right when it just makes sense and people don't even really notice that you're scenting. It's just the space just feels great.
And what's the reaction been to the cannabis industry? Because this is a game changer.
It's interesting. It's been interesting to see how marijuana has been embraced as a good product that does a lot of good for a lot of people. And I think a lot of the negative stigma and just things that people were quick to say they disliked about marijuana, they're not as important today as they were before.
Sure.
And that's why you look at our advertising, our product really doesn't get into, that awful scent of marijuana or whatever. It's really not the case. It's just, you never want like a monolithic scent being your entire life, and
Right.
so we offer these fragrances as a way to, blend it up and, smell like something other than marijuana if you want to.
I use your diffusers at home, not because anyone's enjoying cannabis in my house, but we have teenage boys. So I have a small diffuser in our bathroom and it
Very
doesn't
cool.
smell like teenage boys.
Nice.
And we have a puppy who's always wet. And we've got one of your bigger
Yeah.
diffusers and it times and lets the scent off. There's options for people on what they want, from your candles here up to how big of a square space can they fill.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, our biggest scent machine covers up to 10,000 square feet.
Wow.
The one that we sell the most of, it's our Smart 101. So Scent Machine 101. And you just put it on the wall or on a hard surface, covers up to 2,000 square feet or less,
Sure.
And so I would say any business, put this by your entry, any home, put it in the main area of your home, and you're scenting your whole space. And the machine is like $240, $250, and it comes with the first bottle of oil, and then it's $40 for a bottle of oil. Bottle of oil lasts about a month, when you're running it every day, 12 hours a day, medium setting. It is the most efficient and safest way to really scent a space and have your signature scent of exactly what you want.
And the science behind it is just spectacular. Where is the industry going next? What's your next big project? What are you working on for the cannabis industry?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot.
Right on.
We have a dedicated R&D team, and we're not going to stop. I see scent becoming more like surround sound, where you could be watching a movie and it will change the scent in your environment when you're watching a movie.
Wow.
I see scent becoming part of a standard feature for automobiles, where it's not just lemon or cherry. You can actually have a little scent compartment where you're putting the scent in your car. The industry is growing big time. Fortunately, the big monopoly businesses in the scent industry still leave plenty of room for us little guys, because rightly so, they like to focus on a handful of fragrances, and they're great fragrances.
Yeah.
But a company like us, you get to change it up every month. You get to choose from 100 different scents. And if you do enough volume, you get to develop your own scent. So I just see it becoming more and more part of our lives.
The science of smell. Amazing. Well, what's your website before we forget? How do
Thank
people
you.
find you? Yeah.
I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at plugging it. It's aromaretail.com.
Aromaretail.com.
Aromaretail.com. Yeah,
It's-
you go there. And we also have a really cool fragrance test. So if you go to aromaretail.com and click on fragrance test in the header, you answer a few questions and you can get your perfect fragrance.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on our podcast. Thank you for taking the time, and definitely check it out. It's something that I use, and it works, and I was excited that you could take the time to explain the science behind this. So we
Thank you,
appreciate
David.
it. Yeah.
Really appreciate the time.
Thanks again for watching another episode of Cannabis and Tech Talks. I'm David Wallach. Thank you to our sponsor, PolyScience. We'll check you out next time. Thanks for watching.
You deserve a choice in your growing media. With VitaWool, you finally have one. VitaWool plugs, blocks, and slabs are made from 70% recycled content here in North America and give you the precision and control you always get from your growing media, with the customer service you've never gotten. See why more growers are switching to VitaWool. Get a spec sheet and join the movement at vidawool.com.
Hey, hello, I'm Tommy Chong. If you want something really nice in your laboratory, buy DuraChill. I'm telling you, if you're not using this DuraChill, you're not really in the pot business. You're just on the fringe of it. So if you really want to get serious, man, this is what you need. You need a DuraChill in your life. You got the technology here to have the cleanest, purest, healthiest product. I'm impressed. You want me to sell this? Buy it. Try DuraChill or else If your chiller's down, you ain't making money. And you heard it from me, Tommy Chong.
Brought to you by PolyScience.
This show was produced by Cannabis Tech Today and Pretty Easy Podcasts. Go to prettyeasypodcast.com now if you're looking to get professional production help on your own podcast at an affordable rate. Pretty Easy Podcasts, making podcasting pretty easy.